Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the second semifinal of the U.S. Amateur Singles. Back in the booth, Peter Cipriano and Bill Barker with Ryan Carey on the controls. We're very excited for this match. If the doubles was the doubles match of the day, we expect this to be the singles match of the day. We've got a very informed Noah Motz, who just played, arguably the match of his life in doubles earlier, at least from a doubles perspective. And then a Freddie Bristowe, who obviously is sort of the gold standard when it comes to American amateur tennis, who seems to be slightly off his game, or just still sort of acclimating to the court, should we say. So should be an interesting match. Your thoughts, Bill?
So looking forward to this. If you're out there, anybody who likes to watch good tennis, let them know, because this is going to be hopefully as good as it could be. Noah Motz has been on this court more than anybody, and Freddie's as good as anybody in this country in the amateur level. So I think I just think it's going to be very, very good tennis. Whether Noah can take Freddie, we're going to find out. He did take him in the doubles, and I think that they're both, in my opinion, better singles players than doubles players, which is not to take anything away from their doubles. And some would argue that Freddie's doubles is equal to his singles, but this is going to be good. Well, Freddie comes to win and has won a lot of stuff and is out of the doubles now. My son, Eric, and Noah sneaked out a victory over Freddie and Henry Smith, 5-5. Couldn't have been closer. And I think that Freddie is looking for his first amateur title. He is going to be totally focused.
Yeah, I think we were talking earlier offline. We were sort of not betting, but just trying to predict how this might go. Bill made a good point that Freddie's not notorious for getting slow starts, but he's seen himself lose the first set in plenty of matches before and not been really fazed by it. He's come back and won plenty. And I had thought, if Noah's able to sneak the first set, it's going to be Freddie will be in a huge hole, especially with Noah being so comfortable on this court. But we'll see. That's why they play the matches. Very excited for this one. It looks like we're about to get started.
Hello, commentators.
Looks like Ivan Ronaldson is your marker.
I know.
I was beaten badly by Freddie at the Silver Racket last year, I guess, 2021.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the second semi-final of the 2023 U.S. Open Amateur Singles.
Who have you been beaten?
Freddie Bristowe, number 2 seed to receive. Noah Motz, number 3 seed to serve. It's best of 3, 6-game sets. Love all.
Good question. Bill's asking me who have I been beaten worst by. Can't really think of like an amateur real match loss in singles that I've really gotten completely pumped. Definitely when I was a beginner, I got absolutely chopped by Pat Winthrop. I think 6-love in one of the first tournaments I'd ever played. But managed to avenge that loss in the Gold Racket final a few years back. 4-game victory. Good shot by Freddie to start things off with his patented backhand force off the back wall. Not a high percentage shot for many, but for Freddie, seems to work pretty well, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot of that today. Remains to be seen whether it will work, but he loves to play that shot. It's his game. Good shot from Noah there.
15-30.
Yeah, if you're playing a match, you don't know that much about your opponent. It's pretty safe to just hit it to his backhand. And Freddie has the best looking backhand, and not just looking. I mean, the results are ridiculous.
40-15.
I think he's got the best
Nearly a
backhand.
yard worse than
I think
last
he had
gallop.
the best backhand in the amateur game when he was 15 or 16, actually, in terms of his form. And he's backed it up ever since.
40-15.
So,
Server leads nearly a yard
whereas,
worse than last.
you know, when I'm playing a match, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to, like, go for my opponent's backhand. That is a bad strategy against Freddie Bristowe.
Game server, one
That
game
grill is a
to
perfect
love.
example of what Bill is talking about. So, one love to Bristowe, first blood, Mr. Bristowe. Looks like he's on it. Going to start here, moving well as well. But Noah retrieving very well, gets that ball back
15 love
off the
receiver.
tambour, where I think most of us, especially the ones of us who are not familiar with the court, would just be flubbing into the court. It's an impressive get from Freddie there off of a big force from Noah. And Noah's up. We've been taken out of the camera. Ryan Carey shaking his head here in the commentary
15-0.
box. He's enraged, ladies and gentlemen. Just very upset. It's a good get by Freddie and a very good retrieval by Noah. Some high-level tennis, ladies and gentlemen.
So let's talk about strategy here against both of these guys.
Chase the
They
line.
both got some obvious
15 all.
strengths. I think we've talked about Freddie's backhand. Usually that's where you want to go. Noah's force is known and feared throughout the amateur game and in the pro game a little bit as well. What's your strategy against either of these guys, given those strengths and what they might do to try to pull this out?
It's a good question. So I think I have not played Noah in singles, but obviously watched him play a fair bit. Played Freddie in singles a lot in practice,
30,
once
15.
in a competitive setting, coming back from a shoulder injury. So that was in New York, though. It's a different court, different situation. I would say for both of them, they're both very athletic, and they love to hit the ball hard and go with 10,000 miles an hour. So I think the first thing that I would try to do, slow the pace of play down, try to frustrate them a little bit. Definitely keep the ball on the floor to good length and try to use as much cut as I can. And then when I have an opportunity with an easy shot coming off the back wall, I think lay into it, but keep it away from their racket. So I think one of the things that both these guys tend to do a lot is, you know, Freddie especially, he's so good at forcing accurately, but he'll try to hit through his opponent sometimes, and I certainly think Noah does the same.
The first chase.
You'd be able to take some pace off of the forcing there, and maybe do it even more reliably. You just aim away from the opponent. So
30 all
generally,
chase, the line.
you know, be a bit of a rope-a-dope. Keep it simple on the floor. Try to rely on what I would hope is as good or superior technical qualities, especially in forehand corner. Try to keep the serving end and don't give the shots like that.
40-30.
You've got to
Chase
go at
worse
Noah's
than
backhand,
second gallery.
which I think in Noah's case shows sort of the same disparity between forehand and backhand that you
One game
expect
all.
to see in all of your opponents, and is Freddie's a unique case in my mind. You can't go at Freddie's backhand. Going at his forehand isn't going to help you either, but Noah's going to
15 love.
make the usual amount of backhand mistakes. Definitely, although he used to have kind of a weak volley, that's changed. He's worked on that. He's got a good volley. You just can't let him force. It is a legitimate question, and there's a limited number of people that I think
15-30.
you wonder whether you want to be on the server or receiver side against.
More than a
And
yard worse
Noah's
than last gallery. 15-30.
returns when he locks in, and this happened at the end of the first set of his doubles match. Just hit 4 perfect return of serves. Generally, you want to be. It's not hard. You want to be serving in this game, but with Noah, that's not as automatic.
Yeah, he went orbital there in the end of the first set, and certainly to start the second set. And Eric was super solid on the volley as well. Made some really good reaction volleys, so a good 1-2 punch for those guys. So we've got a 1-all. Bristowe coming in with a more than a yard worse, and then a worse than second chase. A couple longer chases.
Chase more than a yard worse than last gallery.
Could see some forcing here from Mr. Motz. Yep, there you go. So I think Freddie he tends to rely on his good hard railroad a lot. I think if there's anyone that you don't necessarily want to be doing that against, it's Noah, and he just showed us why.
40-30.
So he's up 40-30 in this game. Freddie now going away from that, going back to a demi.
Second gallery.
Solid return from Noah, but he's going to do less damage off the volley return, I think. Solid cut volley, but he's not going to make you look stupid or he's not going to have as easy at the time. Getting into that sort of orbital level for himself when he's returning serve off the volley versus being able to force.
Yeah, having had my ass kicked by Noah many times,
40-30 server.
when he locks in
Second
on
gallery.
the return of serve and is finding the main wall and has got the range, it's frightening. And there are a lot of people that are frightened of his returns. I don't think Freddie's going to be frightened at all. Freddie's got fantastic
2 games to 1.
but I think that, not maybe any more complicated than who's going to be returning more often and who's going to be serving more often. I think
15 love.
as good as Noah's return is, still wants to be serving. It's just shots like that prove why you want to be on the service side.
Yeah, and you've seen a couple of returns now from Freddie that have just gone a bit long on the volley. He seems to be dialing in a little bit and getting in a little bit lower, but still missing long. Obviously hits the net there, didn't commit to the shot. I think if I'm Freddie, I'm going to try to stick with that cut volley return and really try to dial it in. It might take a few games, but if he can get that going, it's going to be a much, much different match than what's been going on so far.
Fault. Chase the door.
It was a little sketchy there. And the one thing I've got to say with Noah, you mentioned his volley. I've been really impressed with his backhand volley and the way he's been stepping into the ball and leaning on it. So you're telling me that he's practiced it. It's certainly showing.
40-30.
He just went head-to-head there with Freddie's backhand on the volley a couple times, and he did more than stand up. So certainly if that was ever a weakness, it isn't one anymore.
Huge improvement there. And he volleyed very well in the double semifinal against Freddie and Henry Smith. I think
40-30.
Noah and Eric, my son, it's a good matchup because Eric likes to play up, he likes to volley, he likes to see the ball coming at him hard, and there are some players that can really change the game with their volley. In this country, I think of Ben Cook. I think of Brooke Hazelton. I think of Stein. Yeah. I'm not sure that Eric's at the level yet of like changing the game. You don't want to target him. You don't want to go at Noah. So it's definitely one of those tee-ups where you don't know exactly what to do. Certainly in our semifinal, we didn't have any strategy at all playing you and Rob. Rob's floor game is so good. His volleys are good, but that's not, the frightening sort of game-changing volley that some of these other guys have. That's not really his game. Just doesn't miss from the back. And Peter, I thought you were playing great. I was disappointed with the pace you were putting on. I don't know if it's the rackets or what, but you were stepping into your backhands in a ferocious way.
Thank you, Bill. It must be all the time and energy that I spent in the gym with George from the Racket and Tennis Club. Certainly spent enough money there as well. Just paid a bill of close to $4,000 for the last month. Can I describe the $4,000 bill? Well, let me get into that. So, how do you spend $4,000 in 1 month at the Racket Club? Good question. So first of all, you got the assessment. Which is, obviously, I wouldn't want to say exactly, but it's, in the upper several hundreds of dollars. Then I purchased several rackets, bats in advance of the British Open doubles and Detroit. So we had that there, and all the need to be strung we get. And then, lessons with Jimbo in preparation for the British Open. He didn't give me any freebies. Court tennis bat or two, and then some gym sessions with George. Try to do it twice a week if I can. So, one thing leads to another, and you run the tab up, and then I get, it's a bitter pill to swallow. But as I said earlier, with Dana Betts in the mix and 3 children, it's not looking great for my games or my fitness, and it will look a lot better for my bank account.
Well, the thing that I want to follow up on is Jimbo.
Game receiver, 3 games to 2.
Haven't heard him referred to as Jimbo. He goes by James in the professional world, and rightly so, given everything he's done in the game. I like that, Jimbo.
Yeah, it's a sort of like a term of endearment, right? And he talks to himself. He'll call himself Jimbo sometimes. So, taken to doing it as well. Shout out to Mr. Stout if he's on the stream. I highly doubt it. Is it probably at the R&T Squash Doubles Challenger, which I would assume we're competing with some viewers for, or for some viewers with, I should say.
Down, worse than a yard.
In my opinion, this is a bit more exciting and entertaining, but some might disagree.
Let's get back to the match. 3-2, and I feel like Freddie is finding his range here. I don't know what I would serve to him.
Worse than last.
No, I mean, you can't let the ball get to the back wall against either of these guys. So I don't know. What are you serving?
In the past, I think serving a good length high serve against Freddie has been okay for me. It's when I lost control of that, sort of went the wrong direction. And if you can serve him, serving anyone a good railroad, I think is a good strategy. Unfortunately, I don't really have that in my locker. So it gave him a steady diet of deep bobbles. Great shot there from Noah to get back to
30 all,
30 all.
worse than last
and
gallery.
Probably high serves, but obviously on this court, don't have as many opportunities to do that. It's slightly lower roof than New York. Good shot from Freddie there.
40,
So he's got a
30
chance
serve
to go 4-2 up in the ever important 6th game.
Good evening, Peter. Good evening, viewers. I'm back. Robert Shankman back. Play tomorrow in the final. And I don't know who it's going to be, because it's 3-2 Juice.
Yeah, Robert, well played against Eric. Never in doubt. His own father had absolutely zero faith in him, so well done. And congratulations on another U.S. Amateur double final. Hopefully you'll be victorious in both the singles and the doubles yet another year, and it will create an opportunity for you to be, I imagine, one of the first people in a very, very long time to win both the British Amateur and the U.S. Amateur in the same year.
Yeah, the last person to do that was Julian Snow. I think.
Advantage.
I don't know when he last won the US Amateur.
To the
whenever
receiver.
he last won the US Amateur. I've already chatted to Snowy about that, so it'd be a good chance. But yeah, been an interesting day to be fair. 3 games and sort of worked it out by the end. I think how to play on here. And I think only having 20 minutes practice court and a half an hour game of doubles yesterday wasn't the best preparation to go into Henry Smith firing missiles at me. But yeah, feeling a bit better about myself after that semi. Advantage Fred anyway.
So yeah, we were just saying, you couldn't hear me, but I think Noah might be better off in situations like that, trying to hit the base of the tambour rather than going for the grill, because missing means that you're sort of playing into the Bristowe backhand with a fast shot off the back wall, which he's obviously going to eat up. Sort of like that. You know, and if you're able to hit the base of the tambour, it doesn't seem like Freddie's reading the tambour quite as well as he normally does. You know, obviously being an unfamiliar court. You know, it's not as easy for him, but certainly hitting returns like that will create his sort of be a winning strategy. And he's now breaking in the data on net. So 40 love lead for Bristowe here. Going to get to 5-2. Great ball from now. Yep, 5-2 for Bristowe. Quick game there. I think Noah needs to take his time and reset. Does not look like he's doing that. So advantage for Bristowe. Good return there. So if you're in Noah's position right now, Robert, what are you thinking about? What are you trying to focus on?
I think one thing both these guys could do differently, they're just trying to cancel each other out, basically playing the same game, just driving it, playing like the all-American way, to be honest. And I think someone could do with just taking the pace off, not serving that railroad main wall force game. Like, there are other ways to do it. Like, I can't believe Freddie is serving railroads to Noah. I can't believe it, and I can't really believe now Noah is persisting with that railroad. I know it's great on here, but I just think if you can get him maybe volleying like that serve a bit weak, a little bit weakly, and maybe having to back off and hit a force, they're going to be way less accurate. And at the moment, just putting pace on the ball is playing right into Freddie's hands, really.
Yeah, Bill had asked a similar question earlier, and that's almost exactly what I said. Like, what would you do if you were one of these guys? I think taking pace off, putting more cut on, stop hitting it directly at the other person as hard as you can, and keeping it simpler and more sort of classic would be a good shout. And then to your point, hitting fast railroads at either of these guys, if it's going to be going to the back wall, is not really going to be a great strategy as you see there. I mean, Freddie's starting to get dialed in on that cut volley return. Noah's making his life a bit more difficult, so I think he might be well served to switch it up and go to maybe a fast cut sidewall or something with a lot of spin, just to try to get Freddie's feet out of position, make him a little bit more uncomfortable. But That's why they pay Mr. Bristowe the big bucks and Robert Schenkman for that, or not any bucks at all, but have good handicaps. 30 concurrent viewers here. Welcome to the other 5 people that have joined since I last checked the stream count. You can get some comments, any questions from the viewers here. We'd be glad to answer or give our opinion about. Pretty darn good point. Great rally. Impressive tennis there from Noah, and he's trying to just hang in there. See if he can convert to get to deuce. Bit unlucky there for Noah to miss. Joining us in the gallery, Henry Smith, Philadelphia's finest. Getting a bit tight here in the ever important 8th game. It's got to be balancing. Ooh, coming close to giving Freddie a taste of his own medicine with the backhand roll force, but just missing low.
I honestly want to see a bit more variation. I think Freddie is just playing that all-action style better than Noah at the moment. And if Noah doesn't change anything, he will, I don't think, lose. I think he'll lose. Just think Freddie will make more balls, will hit more targets, and just generally be a bit cleaner than Noah. So I'll be interested to see if he does lose this set, and his advantage down, chase the line, how he comes out and changes it, because he's going to have to change something.
So as I said, joining us from the Peanut Gallery, Henry Smith from Philadelphia, just taking a hard loss in the doubles, playing quite well in both the singles and the doubles, but unable to come out on top. What are we thinking now, Henry? Are you going to retire from the sport, or are you going to keep going?
Yeah, well, hopefully keep going with a little encouragement from you, Peter. I gave my best effort this morning, and I was kind of tuning into the stream a little bit and heard you say that my match with Rob would kind of set the schedule back to back to what it should have been, and my real sole objective was to make sure that things were still quite delayed after my match, and I think I achieved that objective despite Rob really putting up a solid effort himself.
Very good, interesting strategy going for sort of focusing on a time of the match rather than winning in music, I would say. But
well, you need to start somewhere, Peter. Let's take one step at a time, shall we? And yeah, I mean, you go into a match and feel a little bit loose when someone's 20 handicap points above you, or below rather, and you just try to make the other guy feel a little bit tighter, thinking that he might have a little bit more to lose.
I think the one thing, Henry, you did today, which I've not seen from anyone else, is if you're going to force on this court, and it's obviously a great option because it's so quick, is you got to get that force right, and you got to get that force on target. And if your misses are low, then that's what you got to do. And I think you watch these guys; they're missing high a lot. They're going net. When they're on target, it's not as quick. And I think you had the most accurate force, and definitely the most potent one. And these two are sort of just slogging it around a little bit. I mean, Fred had that one game where he slotted 3 dead-ons, but I mean, by and large, it's just both of them taking pot shots.
from Q Jones, what are our thoughts on the roof? Are we asking about the roof of the actual physical building structure or the penthouse? So I'll say penthouse for me plays like a pretty normal penthouse, maybe kicks the ball out a bit more than I'm personally used to, but would love to see it painted a dark color. And as far as the building roof goes, you can't really see here, but it's extremely well lit, but not a lot of glare. They've uplit the court So and put the put a white roof on top. So it's very easy to see. Great shot there, but lost the chase. So he's now playing off of 1 yard. I would not be surprised if he tries to hit through Freddie's head here if he has the opportunity to do so. And a fault from Freddie, so looks like he's probably going to go with a bobble here.
Peter, that roof opinion, are you having a hard time with the contrast ball roof with the eye incident?
I am a little bit. I would say that I'm having a little bit harder time with balls on the floor on the forehand side that are cut in. And, it could be I was trying to wear the different glasses. I've got these weird Oakley glasses that have all sorts of different types of sunglasses. Prism technology. For those of you in the chat, if you ever have a cornea injury, maybe try out. But yeah. Oh, tried to go for the Camden Revere volley and failing, hitting it into the net. So Noah's coming back to the overside with an opportunity to get an advantage in set number 2. And let's see if he can convert with hazard 1 yard.
Like Brian Owens, who was in the chat, beat my father in the club chat. Ooh, hell of a shot there. Well done. I was going to say, Brian Owens, tremendous golfer. Saw a few battles with him and my father in the club championships over at Golf Mills, and Brian was able to come up on top each time.
Yeah, so I've never met Brian Owens, how rude. However, I've read the Quintathlon book from 2012, and it talks about Brian Owens as an unbelievable golfer, so that's all I know him for as well.
He also is very well known for his severe nail-biting problem, but we don't need to go into that in great detail at this point in time. He also plays off of about a 33, would you say? 32? Oh, in golf? Golf, I'd say he's probably scratch or better. In tennis, he's definitely in the low 30s, at least the last time I saw him. Big boy. And one of the nicest people that you're going to meet, and super supportive of all the games and a good jester. So, Brian, we love you, we miss you. He's the jester's haberdasher as well. And yes, he is a very well-dressed person. I actually have a good memory of Brian and Kendrick DeConing. During my bachelor party, we went out to the Whitney Stakes up in Saratoga in August, and I was dressed in a Panama hat, a Hawaiian shirt, and a pair of raggedy shorts, and they were dressed to the nines in Hermes ties, very nice tweed blazers, and really nice outfits. So when we saw each other, we had a bit of a laugh at the contrasting styles. High-class gentlemen, both Kendrick and Brian Owens.
Brilliant net from Noah to beat Chase 2 with 2 straight forces. Looks like he is just going to go route 1, and I don't think it's a bad option against anyone, even though I'd like to see one of these guys sort of cut a few around and hit a corner. But this is a great rally, by the way. Oh, brilliant from Noah. Good patience again, right? Again, waiting for that opportunity and hitting a corner.
I think he did a bit better job in that rally of moving Freddie side to side. Freddie's he moves exceptionally well, but just like anyone, he's going to have a harder time when he's on the run, on the stretch, trying to play a decent shot off of a good shot. So Noah may have found a decent formula going forward, and obviously he's reading the court exceptionally well. You see there with the ball for Tambor, and again, unlucky there to not get it over the net, but an exceptionally good effort even to get a racket on it, honestly.
Yeah, so on that note, which I think is incredibly accurate when you talk about moving people around the court, an underrated skill. One of my best coaches, Ben Taylor Matthews, used to talk about in a game like this, when there's a guy who likes to force, maybe isn't as strong on the floor, you want to neutralise them from the first ball. Basically get behind everything. Yeah, get behind everything, and then they'll pretty quickly run out of ideas, and that's when you start to dominate. You find a serve, you hit a length, you give them nothing to hit, if they're a target hitter, for example, and then you'll find life a lot easier in the match, rather than trying to play them at their own game if it's messy.
Rob, what are you looking to serve in the final, depending on these two guys? Would there be a difference in service depending on which guy comes through?
I think I can probably just say this. I mean, it's not there's no secrets here. I think I'll probably start with like the railroad, see how that's going, because it's obviously a 3 out of 5 match rather than a best of 3, which obviously changes it. The best of 3 is a bit more of a sprint, whereas in a best of 5 you probably have a bit more time to work it out. I really like that wide bobble I was serving today, which Ben Hudson served really well against Eric. So I was just like, I mean, Pete, we talked about it, didn't we? Just like, yeah, just serve that. And like what I was talking about, you find it pretty quickly. You're in behind his return serve, you're neutralising the rally, and the points just disappearing. So if I can serve that well again, that'd be nice.
I will say, though, seeing different players out here than Eric, these guys obviously have a lot more power and can force accurately. So I know, having played Freddie in the past at least, he returns the bobble quite well, both on the volley and off of a force. And Noah, that's one of the first forces, quite honestly, that I think he's hit on the roof. So he likes to see that as well. So I think, you'd probably be well served against Noah to try to make him volley that return a serve or get the ball down by his feet and across his body. Worst case scenario, he just hits a gallery. And with Freddie, probably something similar. And we saw a little tweener there from Mr. Motz. Yeah, he did put some pace on that tweener. You got to take a small swing on the tweener in case you hit yourself in the wiener. Good point there. I don't like my pun here in the commentary box.
I thought that was quite funny, to be fair. I wanted someone. It was Henry's turn to speak, but yeah, great rally there. Fred winning it, and yeah, this second game, the crucial second game of the second set, is a bit of a battle. But Fred's got an easy chance to beat Chase the Line. I think as well. I spoke with my dad before that semi, and he was just saying you got to cut the ball more, see how it's going if you cut the ball, and I was determined to sort of cut it. I think one thing that makes it hard is the walls and the roof are quite grippy, so it's hard to know exactly where that ball's going to bounce if you're going to cut it. It feels a little bit heavy, but it's definitely that slow ripper, and Eric hit a few good ones. So.
No, we're not really running after that railroad. Freddie got a smart shot. Now, have we heard any gong action in this match, fellas? Not in this one. No gongs.
No gongage. Freddie was aiming at them in the warm-up. Poor return there from Freddie, but he's starting to read the tambour better, so commentator's curse there, obviously. But I think Noah needs to be careful here. If he lets Freddie win this game and get over to the serving end, up a point or two, he could be in bad shape. So I think he's really going to focus on the next couple points, especially on the serve.
I'm actually going to say something a bit controversial here. I do want Noah to win this game, not from a style of play perspective on who I want to play. I just think it'd be great to have this crop of current juniors sort of all beating each other, and I think Fred's probably out in front, and Noah and Eric would probably say he is as well. But I would like to see him taken down, really, and just because Henry, you beat him last year, and obviously his handicap's where it is, but I think for you guys going forward, you don't want to let anyone get complacent, and I think a loss, potentially, you'd learn a bit from a loss, that could make Fred even better, so that would be interesting if Noah can get it over the line, but a long way to go.
Yeah, that's for certain. He's not quite back against the wall right now, but down a set in a best of 3. to an informed Freddie Bristowe is not really where we want to be. And there's a good example of sort of that heavy, slow cut, sort of the Peter Pell signature shot. Shout out to Mr. Pell. That's another good ball. Yeah. It seems like, I think we were saying earlier, putting that slow pace, lot of cut in this court rewards you a lot, but hitting a bit flatter with heavy cut will just make the ball pop up. So Noah, a bit unlucky there, and really important point in this match and the ever important third game here in the second set. It's a decent return, a good get by Freddie. Now Noah's scrambling. Oh, I don't think it was down. Good shit. Oh. Lucky shot. He went for the gong, missed it, but was still rewarded for having some cojones.
Minerals.
Steal. There we go, 2-1. Noah definitely with some work to do here. You can get that, Noah. Oh. Yeah, come on. Yeah, I know, that should really be rolling, right? Okay, Fred. So Fred's changed his serve. He has gone for the demi-PK, so he has blinked first in this sort of hard-hitting battle and getting some results. Good finish from Fred, 30-love, 2-1. That is a good platform to win this second set. But as we've seen today, a long way to go. Henry, go on.
Yeah, interested in some tactical thoughts for your doubles match tomorrow. I don't know if there's anything you'd care to share, or if you're going to keep things on a rather clandestine basis.
Not sure if that's the right word. It's sort of like, sort of works. I can understand what you're talking about, but I'm not sure if it's appropriate for that sentence or reference. No, I think, we saw in both Ben and Robert's matches against Eric, he doesn't like the bobble, so I think he'll see a steady diet of those. And I think against Noah, if you're hitting anything long that bounces off the back wall, you're going to get punished. And if you're hitting stuff that's coming off the penthouse or going long in the rallies, he's going to rip that too. And he plays the ball off the tambour well. So I think you need to be playing the floor against those guys from the receiving end, and then really try to be clinical from the serving.
I'm having to think about something Nick Howell told me about playing Darren. Darren Long, a great forcer, a great hitter of main wall dead-ons. He said you want to serve an under twist or a sidewall from the middle, because that basically takes away the main wall option. And I think if we could restrict Noah to just straight forces, he might suddenly try and hit him even harder if we get a few back, even more in the corner, and then you get the misses, and that's when you start to get results. Whereas if you are serving something tight and he's got that main wall option as well as the straight, that can bring sort of the net guy into play. He's in danger. The guy at the back's now got a choice between two. So I was thinking about that, maybe serving a slower one bounce sidewall, which brings him into the middle, and leaving him at the mercy of a weird bounce off the back wall. That was a thought I had after our doubles.
Honestly, not seeing a lot of gallery hitting from either of these guys today. They're really taking each other on down the middle of the court. That was very lucky. Robert Shankman not happy to see that one go in the gallery. He was rewarded for hitting a bad shot. To Robert's point, and to answer your question, Henry, I think trying to get the ball coming across Noah's body and short is probably a better idea than doing anything tight or long. So we'll see what happens. I like our chances.
Yeah, also, cost to that boast. Noah's going to have to be just as quick because you can bypass Eric immediately by how far up he stands.
Yeah, to be fair to Noah today, I think he did a wonderful job of getting across for the fat post. But yeah, it's interesting. Eric just loves to get up there pretty close to the first gallery, and I wonder if there's any sort of tactical advantage to that, or if he's kind of playing himself out from the beginning, making that choice.
I think a bit of it is looking for that sort of Hollywood shot, that amazing winner at the front where he stood basically at the net and sort of smashing one down. He's not actually taking a very active part of the game. He's literally just defending the galleries, and I think if you can get the ball in behind him, Noah's going to have to play a really good shot to get it past two people. As Fred defends another game point, Noah really needs this one.
Yeah, I think the fat boast will play like a sort of mid-range fat boast, so one that sort of comes a bit slower and a bit more through the middle of the court. There's not a heck of a lot. That's unlucky from Noah there. Not a heck of a lot Noah's going to be able to do, or anyone for that matter is going to be able to do, running to their backhand side, trying to play that ball. They don't want to hit their partner in the head. They want to probably try to get the ball cross court, but then the next guy can poach. So we'll see what sort of patterns arise in that game. And I would imagine against us, they're just going to probably try to play their game. You know, Eric's going to try to poach. Noah's going to try to hit through us. They're playing good tennis, and they're both very athletic, so it should be an interesting, exciting game.
On a separate note, one of the best American doubles players who recently did a wonderful job in the National League was Ben Stein. I would have loved to see him here this weekend. And Peter, wondering if you have any insights into why he might not have been able to join us.
Well, unlike me, I think he's more thoughtful about spending time with his family on the weekends. And perhaps he actually listens to his wife. So I think that probably played a big part. But I know that he was very disappointed that he couldn't be here, especially because Robert Shankman was in the mix. He was a big fan of Robert Shankman, especially last year. They really spent some time doing some male bonding and in the locker room.
Yeah, I just remember the one thing Ben Stein said to me. So obviously in Chicago, the main thing you wear is a jacket and tie and a shirt. And when you're obviously before you play, you're allowed to wear sort of warm-up gear. I sort of took that quite literally, and the whole time I was sort of masquerading, pretending I was playing in warm-up gear and this sort of garish Leamington polo shirt I was wearing. And I remember on the Saturday night, the final night we were there, I got my jacket and tie out as we went to dinner, and he said, "God, that's the first time you've actually looked smart all weekend." And I was like, "Yeah, fair enough. We're not all we don't all have to wear a jacket and tie in England, so a bit of a culture shock, but all good banter."
Yeah, Stein he also did an excellent job on the commentary during the National League. Had Robert Whitehouse in stitches. Great get from Noah there, and a good pickup from Freddie. Excellent retrieving. Chips a gallery there. You know, pretty smart shot. Wise beyond his years, Freddie Bristowe. So both guys seem to have gone away from the railroad now. Possibly to better effect. It's a great get from Freddie. Unbelievable volley. Looks like he may have injured his calf. He's either cramping or injured.
So I've had that before, when you take a big jump and then you land quite aggressively. I think he's all right. When you, when you land quite aggressively on your calf. Oh, he's done. He's done. I think this is match over. Cramp's not an injury.
Well, I think he'll get a 2-minute break. You don't get any cramp? Well, having cramped in the semifinals of the British Open Rackets doubles this past weekend, he's not going to lie. He's not a liar. Yeah, it looks like he's cooked here, or he's just going to have to play on with the cramp and deal with it. clearly a cramp.
How many
so
injury timeouts do I get?
They're giving him 5 minutes.
I think that's soft. I think it's honestly soft. I know we want to see a proper match here, but it's obvious it's cramp, and he said it's cramp. Like, if he says, "Oh, I've rolled my ankle," fine by me, but I don't really like that. I mean, it's in the rules. Cramp's deemed a fitness issue, not an injury, and I think if I was Noah, he has a right to be annoyed there. I mean, I might be being British and just abiding by the rules, but I'm sorry if I'm Freddie there, and I've cramped. The one time I've ever retired was when I had cramp, and I stopped. I couldn't carry on, and that's just the way it is.
It's really salty.
I think no matter what, even if he gets the 5 minutes to rest up, he's still kind of screwed. Having gone through this, as I said a week or two ago, once it starts, it tends to get worse. It might go away temporarily, but it starts to sort of go to different parts of your body. So he's in trouble here.
I think in particular, if he has to go side to side, if Noah's, let's say, pushing him in the corner and he has to be quite firm on that calf, that's going to really, really hurt him. And even just standing up to return serve is going to be absolute agony, having experienced this myself. So yeah, as you say, I think obviously he's got the injury timeout and he might be able to deal with it, get some salts on board. But I think he's toast here.
Agreed. It's not going to do shit. Sorry to the peanut gallery. Henry gave him some sort of powder.
Okay, you want to go?
Well, Peter, let's see what 1,000 mgs of sodium, 200 of potassium, and 60 of magnesium can do. Freddie's a resilient guy. He certainly knows that if he can just wait it out for a little while, maybe it'll loosen up. I don't know. I've never gotten a cramp, and I honestly don't know how it works. So, fellas, maybe you can enlighten us.
She's obviously fine. Yeah, I think if that happens again, he's not allowed another injury timeout, so that will be match over. So he knows he's used that, and Noah just needs to put him in the corners here. So, Henry, to answer your question, it sort of feels like your entire muscle is in spasm. You can't put any sort of weight on it. It's extremely painful. It just feels like you've got a dead leg. Yeah, it's not nice.
And is a cramping problem entirely preventable prior to a match via nutritional habits and whatnot?
Yeah, so if you don't have enough salts before the match, you're putting yourself in danger, especially if the court is hot, and it is particularly hot on there. So it wouldn't really be a cold problem if you're in a cold court, but if it's hot, if you've not got enough salts, if you've played a lot that day, so if you've been on court for a while, which Freddie has, he's played 3 times, and physically as well. He's in trouble. But yeah, again, he could finish this match off quickly and worry about it tomorrow.
Yeah, I think if I'm Freddie here, I'm really focusing very much on my serve and return. It's going to carry the day. He just, I think, won that game, so it's 4-1 now. So he's got a chance to close this out. Noah's really got to focus. I think good, not quite there. If I'm Noah, I'm trying to make Freddie do big movements. So try to wrong foot him. That's what's going to cause the cramp to act up again. Is if he does a big, big lunge or something like that. But certainly has to keep the ball above the net. Maybe getting into Noah's head a little bit. You just don't know.
Yeah, I think sometimes when you see an opponent get an injury, it can kind of have some kind of reverse psychology effect. I think we see that in lawn tennis a few times. Someone will kind of start limping around, and then their opponent will take the pressure off. So, yeah, I would love to see Noah kind of double down a little bit and try to think about what to do tactically here and not really let Freddie off the hook.
Certainly may be easier said than done. But Noah's going to have to play the floor here if he's smart, and he does. Yep, smart shot from Noah there. This game could be the match here, boys.
This point's so important. If Fred can go 5-1, I think Noah will think, oh yeah, I'm done. But he just needs to get more balls on the floor. And Fred's going to need outright. Oh, that's a good ball. See there, he's not moving quite as easily as he was, and that's not an error I've seen him make much today. So Noah at deuce, he needs to get this ball over, make him play.
And you can see Freddie's not quite able to commit to his railroad the same way he was. Oh, yeah, it's a stroke there. So Noah going up, advantage, Motz. Big point here. And a fault from Bristowe. I think it's the right. You can see him actually having bow cramp right now. Yeah. It could be in both calves actually. Yeah, once your calves go, you tend to sort of straighten your legs out, and then your thighs and your hamstrings will start to go after that, and then it's game over. Yeah, Stephen Hawking. And unfortunately for Freddie, he's not got a doubles partner to take over the court for him, like some of us have been able to benefit from. Well left.
That's huge. That's a huge comeback from 40-love down from Noah. He'll know that if he can just stay in this game, he's got a real chance, because if this goes to 3, he knows what state Freddie's going to be in. He's going to have to take this ball on Fred.
Rob, if you're Freddie right now, are you just going to try to swing a few, dollar sign eyeballs, sort of let's go?
So yeah, I'd be looking at it on a point-by-point basis. On the face of it, he needs 8 points to win this match, and the easiest way for him to do that is to produce 8 good returns of serve and not engage in a rally. There's one. And he's not going to do that from the service end, grinding it out in the corners. He's not going to do that hitting an easy return of serve and sort of moving Noah around. He literally is not physically capable. So he's going to maximise that return of serve, hit the chases, defend them, and see where he gets to.
That's right. This is going to be a big passage of play here with 2 chases. Typically I think if I were Freddie not dealing with cramp, I'm liking my chances here. I'm mobile. I'm able to, cover most of the court, especially on the long chase. He's just getting right in there and serving, maybe trying to not give Noah any time to think, and it worked out there. So 15-all, Hazard second gallery.
Wow. Yeah, if I was Freddie during that 5 minutes, I might have phoned up a little masseuse and tried to finesse a quick break, but it is a shot. Ooh, Freddie looking like he could potentially gut this one out.
I think Noah made a mistake there. He saw that the fat post worked, that Freddie didn't move for it, but then he went back to a straight return. And on that return to serve, if you're not going to get it perfectly right and get it on the floor with heavy cut, it's really not going to be very effective even when he's moving. So maybe he'll go to school on that, and we'll see what happens in the end of this game. But Freddie's got an opportunity here. See what he does with this return.
Wow. Tremendous shot. And in the event of Freddie winning, would he be feeling the effects of this cramp tomorrow, potentially, Peter?
Absolutely. Tomorrow will be certainly worse than right now, I would say, in a lot of cases. He might want to try to get a massage, but not have it go too deep. We were talking about this earlier. And he's going to be very sore.
How far away is Chinatown?
Yeah, he's going to feel like literally he's been shot in the leg. Oh my God, what a rally this is, by the way. How has Freddie escaped that? I mean, he's looking good now, looking like he's moving quite freely, so we've probably talked him out of it in pure excitement. But yeah, we love to see it. cramp. It's 2 chases, isn't it? Oh yeah, fair enough.
Freddie's fine. We were completely wrong. We've been talking nonsense for the past 10 minutes. Apologies to all of you in the chat.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I saw Ben Carson with a phantom cramp at the Western Open this past year, but you know, it could be purely tactical to prevent a momentum shift, and I don't know. Oh wow, went for gong, went high. Oh, and a backhand volley off the back wall. Clutch. Yeah, clutch there from Noah.
That was huge. I think Fred had 2 or 3 chances to finish that off, and so did Noah. Atypical of All-American real tennis.
So now Noah's up 30-love in this game, having won the worse than 1 chase. So never say die attitude from the DC player. Great defensive to date on from Freddie. Oh. Very unlucky. Just caught it a little bit off the middle, sort of down towards the throat of the racket, and just mishit it a bit. 40-love to Motz. So do we think the comeback's on here, or is he going to beat himself like that?
I think I'll back Freddie from this position. Looked like he was jumping around on that side of the net and moving a little better than we might expect given the events that just transpired.
I think Noah needs to get this game and then immediately return well, because if he lets Fred get like 30-love, 5-3, then I think it's probably game over. But first things first, he needs this game, and that was a good shot. Oh my god. Yeah, it's well finished, 30-40. All that won't matter if Noah can finish this now.
Oh, he's put it on the penthouse there. Wow. Great volume. Deuce. Bristowe looking like he's feeling it again here, but he's found some form, and he's 2 points away from victory, boys.
Yeah, maybe that sodium, potassium, and magnesium has paid off after all, Peter. Oh, commentator's curse, I suppose.
To be fair, Noah did Fred a few favours by putting 3 balls on the penthouse there, but that nice little slow cut volley challenge. Oh, that's in. Oh, wow, wow, wow. And we have 3-5. And the longer this goes on, the worse Fred's calves are going to feel. I think it's time for Noah to believe.
Yeah, if I'm Noah here, I'm trying to play the floor as much as I possibly can, taking pace off the ball, tripping it around. It's definitely not in his nature, but that's going to work. There you go. But even if Freddie, yeah, that's going to be a problem. Great get, great get. So yeah, it looks like the magnesium, sodium, potassium combination has worked its wonders on Freddie. And he's now 15-love up. And seemingly moving freely. What the heck? Yeah, Freddie looks like he's comfortable now. Noah really needs to focus on this return to serve, get the ball down on the floor. Yeah, just what the doctor ordered.
Well said, Peter. A little prophetic there.
Nostradamus. Oh my word, that's cheap. I can't believe it. 2 balls on the floor and he's got 2 points. Yeah, I can very much believe it. I just think like these guys, they just need to change the pace up a little bit. Both got great power, but just that's a good read. Net. Oh, superb from Noah Motz. the underdog, and that will sting from Fred. He knows he's had 2 chances there. He knows. He's going to be thinking about that on the change of ends.
Ooh. Pretty good outcome there off of a horrifically bad return. Bit of luck. Now the Bristowe head is starting to go down. So 30 all, 2 and 3, and better than half. What do you think, boys?
That was one of those sort of high adrenaline shots from Freddie. He's gone full power on that backhand from about the second gallery line. If he hits main wall timber there, if he hits floor side wall, Noah's not getting near that. As it happens, he's missed the timber, and Noah's managed to sort of squirt it to better than half. But I mean, it could still be Freddie's game here. That's a good ball. He's all right. He's all right. Yeah, don't do that. If it's 2 and 3, don't hit the last gallery. Not a great option.
Now you're going to lose the point every time if you do that. In fact, not a good serve with better than half. He's going to look to hit 3 and got away with one there. So 4-5 with Motz in the ascendancy. Squeaky bum time for the Bristowe camp.
This is big. So Noah, why are you serving that? If Noah, that's good defense though. If Noah watches this back, he'll probably lose some of his chances. But why are you going down the line there? Apologies, I've sort of shouted quite loudly, but it's one of those decisions at 4-5. You've just worked incredibly hard, and
one has to ask oneself, what would Cam do? Cam would hit the ball at the base of the tambour and win the rally, probably there, right? It's a good shot from Freddie. Neither of these guys, I don't think, are quite as good on the floor as they are off the volley or like full pace. Perfect example there. Bit scary, really. Noah not happy with that one.
Just a tremendous knock on the ball right there. Really gave it some juice right at the body. Kind of like the doctor. Oh heavens! And that's it. We'll have to see on Freddie's health coming through.
that's pretty interesting. Fred looked down and out. He's taken his time out, and Noah's fought back, but Fred has got it done with a pretty clinical game to love. It'll be me against Fred in the final tomorrow, which will be an exciting game. I must admit, from a personal perspective, I can't say I'm too unhappy with Fred having that injury time.
Yeah, thanks to all our viewers. We're going to sign off for the night, and we'll see you tomorrow. This has been Peter Cipriano, Robert Shankman, and Henry Smith with Ryan Carey at the controls, signing off. Have a great night.